So, I'm going to read a story, but I'm doing it while I'm laying down, because that's what I got to do today. So, this is a book I wrote for my daughter back in 2012, and those are my brothers on Bishop's Beach, and my cabin, that's my brother, and standing in the door, and there's some snowshoes on the side. That's my mom and Pete and I. Mom's pregnant with Tom. I think this is my birthday, actually, if I remember correctly. So I would have been 8. And my hat says, "Oh shit, Kodiak, Alaska" on it. So this I wrote for my daughter and nephew. Dear Ainsley and Logan, I decided it was time to make this project more inclusive. The last book was mostly about me, but I'm changing direction to make this and future books about the whole family. We all had many adventures during our time in Alaska that you and any kids that may join the family later should hear. It's fun to tell stories verbally, but this way, even if one of us isn't around, you can still hear a story whenever you want to. These are our memories, and each of us may have slightly different versions of the same stories, but that's part of the fun. No one really knows who has it right. Love, Mom / Aunt Babu, a.k.a. Heather. And there's Tom and Kelly. So this first one is Bear Bear's Story for Ainsley. And that's my grandma. And my mom and grandma and I. My mom, my grandma, she ran moonshine when she was 16, maybe even in that car. All right, there's so much to tell you, I don't know where to start. So I'll start when your mom came into our lives. The day I told your great-grandma that I was pregnant, actually, she told me, I'd only known for a couple of weeks myself. I came home from school about the same time she got off work. I think I was being extra quiet or something because she said, let's go talk. Well, I always went out to the garage when we wanted to talk by ourselves. Everybody knew to leave us alone if we were out there. She just looked at me and said, you're pregnant, aren't you? And I said yes. From that moment on, we started planning for your mom, who I always knew she was going to be a girl too. We bought girl baby clothes and furniture. We started to pick out names. I thought about Patience, but my mom said no. She would always have to live up to it, so we decided on Heather Ada. My mom was my best friend. We made every decision together about your mom. On the day I was getting ready to graduate from high school, your mom decided she wanted to get born instead. So my mom took me to the hospital, then went to my school and got up on stage and got my diploma and awards for me. I graduated early and with honors. The school gave her a standing ovation when she told them she was standing in for me. Look at my mom. Your mom weighed just over 5 pounds when she was born. She was the most beautiful baby in the nursery and the favorite of the nuns who were the nurses in the hospital. I always called them nuns with guns because they were so strict. And my mom and grandma and aunts and uncles. My dad, Gus. Well, he's not my biological dad, but I call him Dad. And let's see, who's that? Oh, and Uncle Bill. I guess this was my first day home. Mom and Gus. My mom was pregnant. She's wearing this weird shirt, jumper thing with grapes right over her crotch. Like, I don't know what the heck is going on there. Oh my God, look at this. I'm the tiny little clown in the center. I don't know if you could tell in that photo. Christening day. My mom helped me with everything. I was pretty young. She was 19, I think, when I was born. I think she was 19 when I was born. So I was lucky to have such a great mom. I was working at our bakery, but we scheduled everything, so if I was working, Mom was taking care of Heather. Mom gave your mom her first bath, just like I gave you your first bath, Ainsley. Mom called Heather her little angel. Later, after we bought our own bakery, Heather would go to work with us. I took the passenger seat out of my Corvette and bolted her baby seat in its place. We had a playpen at work, and Heather would stay in it. Our customers would pick her up and play with her, change her diaper, and even feed her if we were busy making their breakfast or lunch. Apparently, some of those customers, regular customers, were Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs. They asked my grandmother for a $1,000 starter loan for this thing they were doing in their garage, and she said no. Later, when she was too big to be at work with us, we put her in preschool. That's why she could read by the time she was 3. My mom and your mom were the best of friends. Heather followed her around like a puppy. If I told her no about something, she would ask your grandma. Sometimes she would give Heather her way and look over at me and just smile, but usually we agreed on everything. My mom had a funny way of knowing things. She and I would call each other at the same time so that our phones would be busy, or I'd be thinking about her and she'd call me, or vice versa. She knew when something was wrong, too. My mom, yours, and I are all very much alike. Have you noticed how often your mom and I do the same things? And you know what? I think you will too. Love, Bear Bear. Chapter 1, complete.